Hello guys, welcome to the channel. This video is going to be part 2 of array methods. So we will learn about another 4 array methods. Okay, now let's define our method, our array, and let's say 1, 2, 3. Okay, now the first method is going to be slice. So what slice will do is it will clone our array and it will not modify it. So let me show you here. If I do console log and then array.slice, so here, as we can see here, it takes 2 parameters. So the first parameter is the starting index and the second parameter is the end index. So now if we say here 0 until 2, notice what will happen here. If I go to the browser and we can refresh and we will open the console, and as we can see here 1 and 2. Now here notice that here there's only 2 elements, which is the element of the index 0 and the element of index 1, but the element of index 2, which is 3 in here in our case, is not present in this array. Now why is that? And that's because the end index will not be included inside of our result. So here if I put here 3, even though there's no element with the index of 3, I will get 3 elements. So it will start from 0, 1, and then 2, and it will stop right there. Okay, and if I put here 1, for example, it will only clone the element, the first element, or the element with the index of 0. Okay, and if I don't specify the second parameter, notice what will happen here. Here slice will continue until the end of the array. Now if I change this from 1, starting from the second element inside of this array, this will give me 2 and 3. Okay, and notice that here if I log our old array, here it's not modified. You need to keep in mind that slice will not modify our old array. Instead it will make a copy of it, and you can start cutting from wherever you want until wherever you want. Okay, so slice method will make a clone of our array or make a copy of it. Okay, and it will not modify our array. Okay, now the second method is going to be splice. So now splice, on the other hand, here will modify our array. So if I do array.splice, and now here notice that slice takes 3 parameters. So the first parameter is the starting index, and the second parameter is how much or how many items we want to delete, and the third parameter is going to be the element or the elements that we want to add. So let me show you here. So for let's modify our array, and let's say here we have 3 and here 4. So it's like 1, 3, 4. So here we are missing 2. Let's say we want to add 2 between 1 and 3. Now we can do this by doing it like this. So 2 should take the second, or should take the index of 1. So the second element will always have the index of 1. So now if I say 1, and how many items we want to delete, well, here we don't want to delete anything. Here we want to keep 3 and 4. Okay, and lastly the third parameter is going to be what's the element we want to add. So here in our case we want to add 2 between 1 and 3. Now if I log our array, this will give us 1, 2, 3, 4. Now notice that 2 was added between 1 and 2 at the index of 1. Okay, so this is how splice works. And let's say let's add another example. Let's say we have 2, 3, and then instead of 4 we have 5. So here how we can do this, how we can add 4 between 3 and 5. So 4 should have the index of 0, and then 1, 2, and then 3. Okay, Now we can say array dot splice, and as we said, 4 should have the index of 3, and we don't want to delete any element, so we will put 0 for the second parameter, and the third parameter is going to be what we want to add. Okay, so we want to add 4 here, and as we can see here, we added 4 here. Okay, and now what if we want to delete 5 and put, for example, here let's say we have this array and we want to delete 5 and put 4 instead. So we want to delete this, or we want to replace this 5 with 4. So now we will make this 1. We want to replace, or we want to delete 1 element. So now Splice will work just like the following. It will see 0, and then 1, then 2, and then here 3. So this 5 has the index of 3, so it will be replaced. So starting from the index 3, we will remove 1 element, and then instead we will add 4 here. Notice what will happen here, that we will have 1, 2, 3, 4. Instead of 5, we have 4. So we deleted 5, and then we added 4. Okay, and if we want to delete these 2 elements, we can add here, we can say here 2. So here we can read this as starting from the index 3, delete 2 elements, and then add 4, and keep everything just like it was. Okay, so here starting from the index here 0, 1, 2, and then 3, it will delete these 2 elements, and it will then add 4. And if we have anything after that, for let's say 6 and then 7, it will not touch these elements. Okay, so this is how Splice works. So now we will move on to our next method, which is index of. So let's say we want to let's delete this. If we want to search for a number, so here let's say we want to know the index of this element 3. So we can say index of and then 3, and let's put this in our console log, and this will give us 2. So the index of 3 was 2. So if we search for 7, this will give us 6, and if we search for 5, this will give us 3. So it will give us the index of the first match. Okay, and that's how index works. And if we, for example, if we search for item that doesn't exist, we will get -1. Okay, so this is how index of works. And if we just want to know if an element exists in this array or not, we can simply say array dot includes, and let's just say includes 4 or 5. This will give us true. If I say 4, this will give us false. Okay, so that's it for this video. See you in another one.